This goes to the sycophants of Mr. President, the hero worshippers of Mr. President, and all other people that are supporting political leaders, whether at federal or subnationals. Indeed, it has been happening even before the advent of this administration. It is sad that the sycophants that don't want us to speak truth to power, not because we hate the government, not because we dislike the face of the people in government, but indeed, it is only when we tell ourselves the truth that we can make positive trajectory in this country, social, economic, political, whatnot. The president has spoken. And what he's telling us is that, yes, they are struggling, but yes, there are issues. And that issue is hitting the core of the political and democratic institutions of this country. Coming to the solution. And by the way, to the government also, that are criticizing us that we are not proffering solutions. Hello, the last time I checked, Prof, myself, Etim, and Mr. Oloja, we are not the ones that campaigned and promised to deliver. So the responsibility of providing solution, you sycophants, belong to the leaders at federal and national. Ours to add our voice, whether to criticize, whether to comment, which is indeed we do when it matters. But the solution should be given by that. But then again, we'll offer solutions to you to show you that we have the capacity to do so. Measurement of performance is very simple. I don't need any World Bank or IMF to profile solution to me. Like Mr. Oloja and Etim said, what are we seeing on the ground, Prof? What were the numbers before this administration? What are the numbers now? Okay. Now, I just took some notes. First of all, they have an issue with strategic communication. The way they deliver the information, like I said, is disparate. And most times cannot be proven. For example, we have killed 18,000 people, blah, blah, blah. In America and any other country, in Chad and even neighboring countries, what happens is the way the terrorists display our citizens dead or alive or even slaughtered on social media, on mass media, is the way we need to see the people that you are killing. It cannot be virtual reality because it's not a video game. Even if it is a video game, we should see some semblance of that. Take, for example, America. They have a strategy of issuing a scalp. You know, I've said it before. They must show you the scalp. They must demonstrate power. What happened in Venezuela and other places? They want to show you that we are on ground and we are doing it. It's not photo shoot. It's not film trick.
When they pick the former president,
yes, that shows it to the whole world. Yes, it's deliberate. When you do that, even the terrorists will now know that, oh, these people are doing it, and that is why the terrorists do it. And they continue instilling fear into the minds of the people. And no matter how much you reel out numbers, with profound respect to the authorities, the people will not believe you because they know what is happening on ground.
Because they are seeing they are seeing
live, they are seeing it on ground.
Are
showing them. And apart from showing them, they are victims. They know the impact. If you have killed people, they know whether you kill them or not. So you need to switch from propaganda. Propaganda should be a subset of communication strategy. It should not be the communication strategy.
Not really the core.
No, it shouldn't be. It should be a subset. Having said that also, impact assessment is a critical success factor to strategy execution. It gives you the real-time situational assessment on ground to help you tweak your strategy, to help you know what you require. We don't hear impact assessments, dashboard style. If you are doing these numbers, this is the number the terrorists kill, this is the number we kill in Wutua, in Orenamoda, in Shinkafi, in Oyo, dashboard style that are evidential. We see the president of the United States of America, the most powerful country on earth, making it a duty daily, whether it is President Joe Biden, President Obama, President George Bush Sr., down to President Trump. Day in, day out. They are not stupid. They know what they are doing by coming to talk to the people because it is their responsibility to do so. And in communicating, they talk about impacts. What is the impact of insecurity, or what are the impacts of the actions we have taken? You cannot tell me you have killed how many thousand people when now insecurity has taken foothold in the sidelines of Oyo State. When 4 years ago, nobody would have imagined it would even cross to Niger. Okay. So these are simple ways to access performance.
Let me say it into the APC administration. Nigerians are getting worse. Situation is getting worse by the day. I think there is a disconnect between the literature we have today and the reality on the ground. Over the years, we have had governments that have succeeded in addressing the core issues that Nigeria badly needed. You may say the military era was not, and it was never democratic, but you must give credit to the military for the way they developed the infrastructure in Lagos, the flyovers and what have you, and you will give credit to Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida for not only moving the capital from from Lagos to Abuja, but for laying the groundwork and the infrastructure that is still unmatched by what he did here in the federal capital. So I don't necessarily agree with the kind of alibis and innuendos that are being bandited around by minders of government. Look, we are in a society where more than 60 years of our independence, we cannot be treated with just opaque and arcane literature on leadership. We've gone past that stage. What we want to see is a government that is responsive, responsible, performing, and that has its hands on the issues of the day. Right now, we have 3 years, like you have asked, into Tinubu's administration. Let me say it, into the APC administration. Nigerians are getting worse. Situation is getting worse by the day. What bothers Nigerians today are 3 core issues. Of course, other issues come into play. One is the issue of security or insecurity. Second is the issue of prosperity. Third is the issue of jobs. And today, we have a government that under its watch, Charles, not only has the government been unable to rescue the students that were, kidnapped from Oyo State and their teachers beheaded, but under our watch and the watch of this administration, 17 people were killed in Zamfara, another 17 in Katsina. Soldiers in their numbers, officers were killed in Borno. A general and his wife, retired, was kidnapped and he died in custody. Only today, we had the news of a serving deputy commissioner of police in Lagos that was kidnapped and killed. And it is like you need to get a needle to pinch people to believe that this country is in its lowest ebb.
Right. Okay.
So we are not by any stretch of imagination anywhere near a situation where you will sing the praise of any government.
If you look at it on the last election, you will see that so many imams and so many traditional rulers have participated in supporting Tinubu administration. But now, it's even difficult for imams to go on the mosque to preach for Tinubu. You can't even do it. The people have had enough of it. It's not like the elite versus the masses. That's what it looks like now. And then you see now people, just last week I saw a video of one Malan saying that they proposed to give him 500 billion naira just to go and see how he can mobilize the imams and traditional rulers. Nobody, I dare anybody to go out there and campaign for Tinubu, especially those Malams and those traditional rulers. They will be totally disrespected. The people will disrespect them. That's why.
How can you say that confidently when a good number of political elites in the north are already rallying support for the president?
Who are they? The governors?
Beyond just governors, you've seen religious leaders. You've also seen. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it. I mean, you might have chosen to ignore them in mentioning.
I can only see the governors, but you barely see imams or traditional rulers talking about people for them to support Tinubu. You hardly see it. Because they know they can't face their people with that. People have had enough of them. If they want to collect the money, they should go ahead and collect the money. But they can't convince the people to vote for Tinubu 2027. It's not possible. And if they try it, trust me, people will disrespect them. And they know it.
Is it not fair to point out that this is an ADC version of the narrative? And there are other competing narratives out there that your assessment is not necessarily 100% on point.
I'm not talking about just the ADC, I'm talking about the common people, the Nigerian people. If you go out of just around the whole, just walk out of the streets and ask people, like, do you think, will you vote Tinubu 2027? You'll be amazed on the results that you're going to get.
Is that what your survey is telling you?
Absolutely.
That people are not going to vote for them?
They are not. They are tired. They have had enough of them. Nothing to show. We're tired of insecurity.
So if Tinubu wins in 2027, it can only be because
How will he win?
Now I'm saying if he wins in 2027, your explanation would be...
Don't even bother about putting the if.
Why would Tinubu ask Nigerians to re-elect him again? This is the same president that said, if I don't give you power in 4 years, don't vote for me. There's no power. We have less power now than we had when he was in. Now, we are more insecure than when he came to power. On what basis are we going to vote for this man? Just because he's the president and he says, vote for me so that I can have 8 years? 8 years of disaster? Is that what you're asking Nigerians to go through? And I know in 2027, I lead a party that is saying to Nigerians, say no. No. This is our country, sir, and we have suffered enough. If the Senate president did say that 2 weeks after the election, Nigerians will see a secure country, then it leaves only one conclusion. Either he wasn't in his senses when he said that, or they are genuinely playing with our insecurity in order to win an election. What are you waiting for? Why do we need to wait until 2 weeks after an election? And what happens if you lose that election? Are they even thinking of the possibility that they could actually lose that election? You know, we had a president who lost an election, and the heavens didn't fall. So why do we wait? Why do we have to wait? In other words, they're now trading votes for our security. Give us votes, and we'll give you security. In other words, what they're doing now is withholding our security and playing with it as an electoral asset. That is the most irresponsible thing anybody could say, not even do. To say, the number 3 citizen of the country, to say to Nigerians, if you vote for us, in 2 weeks you'll be secure. First, with all due respect, I'll say he's lying. There's no way you can secure a country in 2 weeks. Because if you can, this is the time to fix it. 2, he's a poor politician. The most important thing President Tinubu or APC and this administration can do is to secure Nigeria now. Now. Not wait until you win an election. Number 3, by the time we have this election, Nigerians would have been so fed up with an administration that just rolls out press statements, Americans have killed some ISWAP leader, this one has done this one has done this. The second part of the question about blaming politicians, again, is pathetic. This is the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria with the entire array of access to information. If you know a politician in this country or politicians who are using insecurity to demarcate you, to make you unpopular, why don't you pick them up? They are holding a Rufai now on the grounds that he said he knows someone who was bugging everybody's phone. That is 1,000,000 times less than a president himself, commander-in-chief of the armed forces, with intelligence, with security, everything, saying my enemies are at play. It's my political enemies that are causing this problem. If he said that, then it shows that President Tinubu has completely lost touch with the realities in this country. Because I don't see how you would be president in charge of our security. You swore on the 29th of May 2023 that you protect Nigerians. You have failed to do that. And now you're saying, oh, it was my enemies that have done that. In what way? If he's talking about criticisms, then I'm sorry for him. Nigerians will criticize him because that's his job to secure us. If he's saying that to find excuses, then I'm sorry, that is the lamest excuse you can find.
Welcome back. We know the other time that the North fuck up, but now that their brain has now come back, we have to really accept them. Because if you actually look at most of the things they have been saying in this Tinubu's administration, it is very, very right. Everybody should forget the fact that these guys didn't speak up during their own person's time. Although I'm not saying that we should follow what they are saying and put another of their own brother again. I don't mean that you guys should support anyone from the North again, but with what these guys are saying, I think some of us need to speak some correction out of all this thing and fix this nation well. And for this nation to be fixed, the South and the North need to be together and speak in one voice. If not, there is no way. Because most of you have seen when someone, an influencer, was saying that for Nigeria to be fixed, or for Nigeria to be able to take Tinubu's out, the Hausa population and the Hausa tribes, they need to be involved. If not, it will be very, very difficult. Because if you leave the votes within only the South alone, see the popularity that man called Tinubu has will still make him be there again. Forget those online who are saying that they are not going to be with Tinubu, or that they are just making noise. If some of them have seen even 5k, they won't even know when they will be supporting. So the Hausa tribes and all other tribes that has populations, we need most of you to be involved in this, because this we are not saying all of this for only one person. This we are saying this to make sure the bad administration that this man has put on in, we out of it. That is what we are saying. Me saying all this thing, I am not saying it just because it is not favoring me. I am just saying all this thing because it is not favoring all my people. It is not favoring everybody. We are just speaking on behalf of everybody, and some persons are not speaking up. Though I know why it is so difficult for some persons to speak up, because we've seen some part of Yoruba who have come out to let us know that Tinubu has been doing well in their own side. But when you go to other Yoruba side, you will hear a lot of persons complaining, because I have seen a woman crying out that it was when another person was in power, their own side is even secured more than when their brother is there. There is something I would like most of you guys to just know today. If a person who is your brother is in power, he won't focus on your region. He would even focus on another people's region more than you. Let me clarify you in what I said. See, this is it. This is how they play politics. One, the person who is in power today as a Yoruba person will not want to even secure Yoruba land, because the name of being a Yoruba person he has gotten is what he's using on Yoruba people, and that will make Yoruba people to still support him, even though he don't do anything for them. But him coming out from there is something for him, and he's using that one to convince them, and they don't know, because a lot of them think that if their brother is in power, everything will be good for them. But he's playing them with that one, and a lot of them want to even hear this name: Yoruba is in power, Igbo is in power, or Hausa is in power. That is the reason why the problem is still growing instead of going down. So if a person who is a tribe, like I was saying, is there, he will never want to like take care of their region. Those there, if you can check, even when Buhari was there, when Buhari was in power, it was Kestina who was having big issue then, because the Kestina people know that Buhari is their own brother, and no matter what he has done to them, they will still support him. They will just focus on fuel their energy to another region that is not even having issue, because they want to focus on that other region, so that the other region they will be focusing will think that they are doing big thing everywhere, and they will use that one to get their vote out of that region. If you check Jonathan example, it's just that Jonathan wasn't wise. If not, Jonathan too did the same, because when he was there, the Bayelsan and the other people who are from his own region were the people who were suffering then. I don't even think he even built any school there for them, but he went to the north to deliver some certain things for the north. But what did they still do to him? Did not push him out, just because both of the population and anybody who want to become anything he want to become must get a little vote from the north. And it is not as if he was pushed out. They used power, they used force, and he was the person who was in power. But now these guys, they're coming again, and I understand their perspective this time around, because this one is visible to anybody. Even the blind can even see that Tinubu administration is very, very bad. Because when we see some of these things at times, some persons will come and tell us that this is just because this guy is not a brother, they are doing all of this thing. We've seen several Ariwas, those one who are good among them. I understand the fact that some of them were not speaking up during the time of their brother, sorry, but we had seen some good Ariwa who were speaking up during the time Buhari then. It's just that a lot of us were not following those one who are speaking up. That is why when these people now are now speaking up, some persons will say that why didn't they talk during their own brother? And that is what is causing that division that we're talking about. Me, I'm not saying that we should bring anyone from their side to come and do anything here. Even Yoruba person, you can call them, ask them that how far, who would you want to become this in the next future, in the nearest future? They will mention and they will say that they don't want this guy again, because even them, they can feel it. Now everybody is buying fuel the same price, and everybody is buying beans the same price. They don't sell beans to the Yoruba 300, sell it to other people 5,000 or 3,000. It is equal, and we need to demand for a better place or for a better person. Now we have a better candidate who is doing well, who everybody has known that he's done well in their places, but for those people to even support them is a problem, because they think that this other person is not from their tribes, and it is making it difficult for us to be out of the problem we're in. And this problem, if we don't take it serious, it will follow us till everybody buy, because it is not taking everybody down. Because if you see people who are being quiet under this regime, they didn't even think that they will be quiet by this time, but they quiet just because this regime happens to them. Ever since this APC regime started, do you know how many Nigerians who has lost or who have lost their life under these people? You don't know. That's why a lot of you, when we are saying all of these things, what you are seeing from far, your own is tribal or tribalism. That is why it is difficult. So I don't want to be saying all these things for long. I just want everybody to pick a little thing from all this I'm saying, so that these guys who are there thinking that they have no need or should just be out, because it is their out we need. Thank you.